like when I was in hospital, I was like in bed the most of the time. Like I just left my bed when they forced me to do something. It was like even that bad. Like I couldn't go to dinner or to lunch at the hospitals, and they were like, if you don't want to come, you don't get food. But like I wanted to come, but I couldn't. So like I didn't get food at a lot of hospitals because I couldn't go. I still have like rough APs and I feel like shit. And but when I look back, like it's crazy because you forget how severe you were. Like somehow you
Mm.
know it, but sometimes you forget how it feels like.
Hmm.
So I just try to remind myself in every AP, like you've been so much worse and you can handle this now.
All right, how's it going, Thrivers? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. In this video, we have Christina and her story, as all the other ones are. Very, very inspiring, very unique story as well. And, it's very interesting because I remember just about a year ago, Christina, you were pretty much bedridden, pretty much bedbound. When we
Yeah.
first talked, you actually had to bring a friend on the call with you, and you could barely make it through the first call because you're feeling so much pain because you had fibromyalgia and all these other symptoms. But Christina, we're going to jump into your story today because you've
Yeah.
obviously made a lot of progress. But do you want to just quickly introduce yourself and let everybody know where you're from?
Yep. I'm Christina. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Munich, Germany.
Munich, Germany. Yes, plenty of Germans dealing with these issues. So let's rewind the clock because you were dealing with this for it was a year or 2 years before you came across my content, right? How long
Yeah,
was
about
it?
a year. Yeah.
Yeah, about a year. And how did you first get sick? Like, what did you first start feeling, and how did you know that this was a pretty serious issue?
So I got sick from the COVID vaccine. Um,
Mm.
then because like everyone told me like you can't be sick from the vaccine, it should be something else. So I first got like a lot of pain in my body, and I thought because I was working so much this time, I thought it's just from like working because I worked in a restaurant, and I thought it's from all the standing and running, and I don't know. But the pain got worse and worse, and like at the same time, like my body started like twitching, like very very bad, and it got worse and worse. And then like I thought I'd just chill and like relax and maybe it like gets better by itself. But then it got worse and worse, and like the pain got worse, the twitching got worse, and besides that, my fatigue came and got worse. So
Wow. So, how long did it take for you to feel the symptoms after you got the shot? Was it
mm,
immediate or it took like a
like
week or two?
no, I was like I had like normal reaction to the vaccine, but I guess after like 2 weeks, like 1 or 2 weeks, like the pain started, and
Mm.
like the twitching was like nearly the same time. But I thought
Wow.
it's just like a muscle issue from working because it's twitching and hurting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually starts off really small, like we don't think it's a big deal or we think it's going to go away. But stuff like this, a lot of times it just gets worse and worse and worse. So for you, it started with the pain. You noticed something was off, then you started getting the muscle twitching. What other symptoms were you experiencing at that time?
Yeah, at first it was just like the pain, but it started in my legs, and the pain just went like over my body, like with time. So like my whole body was like hurting, and like the twitching also started just on my legs, and then went up like to my body, like everywhere. Like even my face twitched at that time. And first it was like 2 months, I guess, just the pain and the twitching, but then
Mm.
it got worse and like fatigue and brain fog and like everything kicked in. Like I guess I had every symptom. I made a list. I had like around 30 symptoms, like 3 months after the vaccine.
Wow. So that's a lot. So this shot triggered a whole bunch of stuff for you. Leading up to the shot, what was your life like? Were you pretty stressed or kind of an anxious person, or and this was the thing that tipped you over the edge? What did it look like?
Yeah, I've never been an anxious person at all, but I had a lot of stress. So like um the weeks before I got my vaccine, I had exams and I had to study a lot. And besides that, I worked a lot. And after the exams, I started working more and more. And I was like a gym girl, so I worked out a lot. And didn't eat enough, and then there was an accident happening in my family, and it also caused a lot of stress where I had to be there for my family. And yeah, so it was like a very stressful time. And like I was tired all the time, but it was like normal because I had stress. And then I started like drinking a lot of Red Bull and energy drinks and taking like the caffeine pills because like I couldn't handle all of that without it. But I thought it's just normal.
So there was a lot of stress stacking up, and then this shot comes along, and that's what tipped everything over the edge. So, what was it like when you started feeling the symptoms, and then you were less and less functional? Um, what were the people around you saying, and what were the doctors saying when this stuff started getting pretty bad?
Hard topic. Like um not like none of my friends really got it, like how severe it is. Like no one could relate. Like also my parents like didn't get it how like bad I feel and like how bad it actually is. And like no one could relate at all. And then I started to go to the ER just by myself because like no one really believed me. But I came out of every ER with like, you're fine, like there's nothing wrong with you. And but I knew there's something really off with me. And like when it wasn't that severe, I like knew that it's something really serious. Like I had that feeling.
I see. I see. Yeah, because that's not normal. And at the time, you were what? You're 22 years old at
I
this
was
time that this is
22,
all
yeah.
happening.
Just turned
Yeah. So
22
that's
before I got sick. Yeah.
yeah. So that's not a normal thing for a young woman to be going through. And I hear it a lot. And I went through the same thing. The doctors were just like, "Yeah, you're fine. Your tests are normal. Just go home. It's all in your head,
Yeah.
or just learn to relax a little." So, what was that like for you going through that process? Um, did you feel like isolation, or was it frustrating? What was your mindset at when you were trying to figure this out and no one was helping?
It was rough because I knew something was really off, but no one believed me. So I went to every doctor, to every ER, like because I knew something is off, and like someone needs to see it. Like I thought someone out there like gets it, you know. But like every doctor told me, yeah, you're fine. It's just in your head. It's just in your head. And then yeah, they like told me to go to like psychosomatic hospital. I don't know. And then I went there because like I couldn't stand it, like being home alone with all these symptoms. Like it drove me crazy. So I went there and they told me that's all in your head, like nothing wrong with your body. And like I couldn't relate at all to the other patients because like they weren't like physically sick, but I was. And like no one believed me and no one like got me. And so I started a very big discussion with them, like with the doctors. And then they were like, okay, you're fucking crazy. Um, we bring you to the like closed station of the psych ward right now. And I was like, nope, absolutely not, because it's not in my head. And then I just packed my stuff and left like in 1 hour. And that even like was too much for my nervous system. So after this, I got new symptoms. So it made everything worse. And like the story goes on, I went to so many hospitals, so many doctors, and like every clinic, every hospital made me so much worse. So like going to doctors and hospitals like now is a trauma for me. Like it's hard.
Wow. It was the same for me too. Like I lost a lot of trust with the doctors.
Completely.
And I know that doctors play a very important role in society, but when it comes to these kind of issues, it's very hard to find a doctor that one will believe you,
Yeah.
two will actually know what's going on, and three have a solution for it. So it's really hard to find that. But for you, I mean, you'd be going to them for help, and they would literally tell you you're crazy, and they try to put you in a psych ward,
Yes.
essentially. And you were like, "No, I'm not crazy." Wow, that is
It
that is
was
pretty
rough.
wild.
So I was
Yeah.
like clinic hopping from like I got sick July 2021, and I was like clinic hopping until like April 2022. Like I haven't been home for more than like 1 or 2 weeks in between, I guess. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but not a long
Wow.
time. And like
Really, you were just going from clinic to clinic. They were passing you on to different
yeah,
specialists.
because
Wow.
like
And so
I've
that whole time,
never heard of
yeah.
CFS. No one told me. Everyone's like, it's in your head. You look fine. You are fine. Just like do exercise. So it started in every clinic. They were like, do exercise, do exercise.
Mm.
And like I really wanted to get better. Like I wanted to get better so bad, and I wanted to show them that I really want to. That I like tried everything what they told me, but it made me worse and worse. And they didn't get it. That it makes me worse. I thought they can see it, but apparently not.
Yeah, wow, that's tough. So you're away from home, you're under the doctor's supervision, and they're forcing you essentially to work out and
Yep.
exercise and walk more. So you're saying that that just made you worse over time,
Yep.
right? And so by the time you got home, it was about April 2022.
Yes.
And when you got home, is that when your body just kind of gave out and you were pretty much stuck in bed all day?
Yeah. So
Mm.
like I've been at home like for some days or weeks here and there, and like I was completely bedridden like all of the time. Like when I was in hospital, I was like in bed the most of the time. Like I just left my bed when they forced me to do something. It was like even that bad. Like I couldn't go to dinner or to lunch at the hospitals, and they were like, if you don't want to come, you don't get food. But like I wanted to come, but I couldn't. So like I didn't get food at a lot of hospitals because I couldn't go.
Holy crap. Man, that
Yeah,
is
going
crazy.
days without food. Like some other patients like recognized it and brought me like food illegal in the night. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. So they were pretty much saying, hey, if you want to eat, you have to walk over here and eat it. But you were so sick, you couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So then the other patients, they felt bad for you and they would sneak food to you
Yeah.
because they understood. Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Like
I
they
can see
didn't
why you have felt.
completely understood, but like more
Mm,
than the doctors.
of course, because it's almost like the patients versus the doctors in some of those clinics,
Yeah.
right? So you were on their team, but wow. So as all this is going on, what were your parents and family thinking about this? Because they're seeing you go from hospital to hospital. What were they saying? Did they even believe you?
Yeah, my parents believed me, but I guess it's hard to
Mm,
believe it because I was like this very, very active person. Like I love
mm,
doing sports and I moved out at age 16. So and you couldn't really see how sick I am,
no.
but I guess they believed me, but they didn't really realize how bad it actually is. But like I moved back with them, like between the clinics because I was living by
Mhm,
myself before.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
they know I hate my hometown, and like it is like really bad when she's coming back home.
Oh, got it. So
But
yeah.
they
So then
didn't
they
really
realized.
know how to help me or like what to do. They were just like speechless, I guess.
Mm, yeah. Wow. So when the doctors are meeting with you, what did you end up getting diagnosed with, and what was their explanation? Did they give you the fibromyalgia
Like
diagnosis?
yeah, like right before I joined the program, like
Mhm.
was when I finally got my fibromyalgia and my MECFS diagnosis. But before, like I got every diagnosis you can imagine.
Oh,
Like
really?
the most of them, they tried to find a mental disorder for like every body symptom I have. So I got
Yeah.
like a long list of mental disorders, and I knew like I don't have it.
Mm,
But
yeah.
yeah, they were like, there is like a mental disorder that's like something with pain. So like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So I got this a lot, and like panic
Hmm.
disorder and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which like some of those can explain why people are feeling the symptoms, but the thing is they don't even really have a solution for a lot of it, aside from just give you like medication and stuff, right? So is that what they were trying to do to you? Is
Yeah,
just
like
feed you painkillers and those kind
yeah,
of things?
yeah. So at every clinic, I got so much medication. Like I don't even know what they got me. I just took it because like I believe the doctors like at the beginning, then
Mm, of
not
course.
anymore.
And then you see it's not working. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it didn't work at all. Like they gave me because I had like very, very bad nerve pain. Like I just had like
Hmm.
muscle and joint pain before my first clinic, and when I left the first clinic, I had like very bad nerve pain. So I guess it stimulated my nervous system so much there that I got nerve pain. And there's like this medication for nerve pain, and
Hmm.
there's this like two pills that are in Europe for nerve pain. They gave me both, and then like antidepressants and like painkillers, and I took so much it even like it made my brain fuck so bad. Like
Hmm.
I wasn't even like fully there. Like I don't know
Yeah.
how I managed everything with this head.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're on all that stuff, you feel like a zombie. Um, I was just on like two medications at my most, and I felt I felt like a zombie with that. So I can't imagine everything stacked on top of each other. And the craziest part is they're giving you all the stuff, and it's not working. You're actually getting worse over time. So
Like
it's a tough situation to be in.
sometimes like at this one clinic I couldn't sleep because all of my pain, and like it wasn't because I had insomnia or anything, it
Mhm.
was because my pain is so bad. And I asked them to give me like strong painkillers, but they were like, no, you can get like sleep medication or like more antidepressants. But I was like, that's not what I need. Like give me one painkiller that's strong enough, like I need to sleep. They refuse it at all.
Wow, that is wild.
They
That
were
is
like, it's
wild.
all in your head, there is no pain.
Man, I can't imagine how difficult that is because my doctors, they were never that in my face about it. I could get the vibe that that's what they were hinting, that it was all in my head. And I only had people say it a few times, but like when you're staying and living in the hospital and they're not helping you, that's a tough place to be in.
Yeah.
But
So I left every
yeah,
hospital because it made me worse. Like,
yeah,
like I should have
yeah.
stayed longer everywhere, but I couldn't make it.
Wow, that is wild. Okay, so you end up going back at home, and then when did you come across my content? Was it shortly after you went home and you
Yeah,
started looking for solutions by on your
yeah.
own?
Like when I came home, it was I guess like mid and March. So like that was the point where I thought, okay, like I tried to find help somewhere else, but I couldn't find it.
Mhm.
So I need like help myself now, like go in to a totally different direction. And then like I talked to a girl who also had CFS, and
Mhm.
she showed me Raylan's YouTube channel, and then there I came across your like interview, I guess, and then I found your YouTube channel. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
like
awesome.
I guess, yeah,
Yeah, and then you ended up booking a call. We talked, and I remember on that first call, yeah, it was a dark room just like this, but I could tell you were in so much pain. And even midway through the call, you were like, I don't know if I can continue. My body hurts so much just looking at a screen. And I remember that call like it was last week. But anyways, you decide to come on board. What made you decide to join and come on board this program versus other solutions you could have found? What made you decide to join Recovery Jumpstart?
I like first of all I realized that it's a nervous system problem and discovered all the programs that are out there. And then I looked at all of them, but I thought your program is like so simple and so clear. And I was like studying like my whole life and going to like school and uni. I was like, okay, I need something like printed out or like what I can see and just study, and like just, yeah. So I thought
So it
it's
was.
simple and I can just do what you tell the people. And the other programs are like about like spirituality and meditation. I'm like not that kind of girl, so it was like too much for me. I thought I really want to get better, but if I need to meditate 3 hours per day, like I'm not gonna get better because I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. I was the same way. Like I couldn't. Well, now I can't meditate. I did it when I had to, when I couldn't move in bed,
Yeah, I
as you
did it.
probably did too. Only when you have no choice, but it's like the last option.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely not my go-to activity. It actually stresses me out more. But no, that's awesome. And so you came on board, and I mean, since then, I mean, you made tons and tons of progress. But what would you say some of your early wins were? Because I remember when you came on board, I think it was like less than a month later, you went to some concert,
Yeah.
and then you got COVID, and then
Yeah.
you ended up in another clinic, right, where they made you jump on a trampoline or something. I remember that,
Yeah,
right? They gave
yeah,
you
yeah.
gymnastics, which
I
made you
was,
worse.
yeah.
But talk about that. What was it like the first 3 months of the program? What went well, and then also, talk about some of the roadblocks you had early on.
I didn't like hear the first part of the question because of the street.
Oh, yeah. Just talk about your first few wins in the program, but also some of the roadblocks you ran into, like getting COVID and having to go back to the clinic. So talk
Yeah.
about your experience, your first 3 months in the program. What was that like?
It was a roller coaster, to be
It
honest.
was definitely a
Like,
roller coaster. Yeah.
yeah. First, I guess I made like good progress really fast because, like, yeah, I just like read about like nervous system issues and like stuff like that before I joined the program. So like could really like be fast with like introducing what you taught people like into my life. So it was better, but like I could go out for one day for like 4 or 5 hours, which is like crazy because I couldn't do it for like a year. But after that, I would have to stay in bed for like a week or maybe more and just like completely stay in bed. But then I went to the concert and it was like my first really, really like it was like techno festival. I just went for the day. Like my friends went more days, but I was like, okay, I join you guys for like one afternoon, and like I'm happy to make it some hours. And then I was like so happy, and then I got COVID at this festival, and I never
I
had
remember
COVID before. It was my first time having COVID, so I didn't know how it was like to have it.
that.
And it took me into a very, very dark place. Like I
I
remember
remember that.
this.
Yeah, you would send us, because we had a private chat, you would send us messages from, I think you were in a hospital, right?
Oh yeah,
You
I
were
was also like in a normal hospital. Like my doctor put me into the ER because she was like your fever is not normal. Like it's too
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you were recovering from fibromyalgia and CFS. You made a bit of progress, then boom, you get hit with COVID, like a really bad case of COVID. You end up in the
Yep.
hospital. And I remember you were freaking out, messaging us like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And we're like, hang in there, Christina. There's not much you can do. Respond well to symptoms, right? And then after that, I mean, that left you with tons of symptoms, and you end
Yeah.
up. Did they end up putting you in a clinic again, or you did that when
No,
you were
like
still?
I stayed there for like just a day, I guess, and they were like, "Yeah, just go home, take painkillers, take like fever
Mm-hmm.
medication, you'll be fine." But like I already had CFS, so
Mm-hmm.
it didn't go away that easily, and I don't know if it was a crash or in like very big AP, but like all my symptoms that already got better, like they were full on there again, and I thought I can't like recover from this. Like I believed in myself, but now it's like over. Like I can't take
Mm-hmm.
this anymore. Like it's too much.
Yeah, yeah, that was probably rock bottom for you,
Yeah,
just because you actually made some progress, you got some hope again,
yeah,
and then life just like pulled that progress away, and you got even worse. But you made a comeback. You focused on what you needed to do. We did a lot of one-on-one calls with you and Junior, and we really tried to pull you out of that dark place, and you did actually end up coming out. Because you're here
yeah,
today. But
yeah.
after that, so around that time, that's around September or October of last year,
Hmm.
right? So fast forward to now, you've made so much progress. Just share some of your biggest wins that you've had in the program. You had a lot of wins, actually. We'll pop them up on the screen right here somewhere. Um, some of your stuff in the wins channel, but talk about like your first really, really big win after you went through that whole COVID situation. Because you went on hikes, you got to see friends and stuff. Yeah, talk
Yeah.
about that. What were some big wins?
Um, I don't know where to start. Like then went to another clinic and came out and like I
Mhm.
wasn't at a good place, but like mentally it was a little bit better. And then I don't know, I guess the first big win was another techno festival in December. Or yeah. So I remember like you guys told me not to go.
I remember that. We were like, Christina, let's slow down here. Like, you hit a wall, and then you go to this techno festival. We're literally pushing and crashing, but now it's under control again. No worries. Now it's under control again. But yeah, you went to a techno festival, which you loved, right? You had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was like a spark of hope, a spark
Yeah.
of what's to come in the future. So, what was that like? You know, what was it like being there, being able to enjoy yourself after going through what you went through for the previous year?
Like I guess no like healthy person can imagine like how happy I was, like besides all the symptoms that were there for sure. But I was so happy and like enjoyed just the moment so much, and I was like so much more happy than all of my friends. And I was like, I don't care how I feel tomorrow. Like I don't care because I'm here and I can do what I like imagine for like a year or like more than a year now. And the crazy thing is, like, I always watched on TikTok like videos of the DJs I like, and I really wanted to hear that one song live. And like at this day, she came and she played this song, and I was there and I heard it, and I was like, this was the moment for me. I was so happy and was like, you're gonna make it, girl. You're gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that's amazing. And I've had that happen a few times where you imagine something so many times when you're bedridden, you can't move, you can't feed yourself, and you're
Yeah,
thinking, man, I would give anything just to be in this one place right now. And you think about it thousands of times. So when it actually happens, it's like,
it's
yeah,
not
you're
real.
right. People who are healthy can't understand what that feels like. But
No,
and
like
some of
it's
the people watching this, I'm sure they think about it every day. They're thinking of an escape, right? So that was your escape, and then it actually happened, which is super cool.
yeah, that was like, it was really like important for me to do it, like actually, because it gave me so much mental strength. Um, yeah, and like just being there with my friend, listening to good music, like it gave me so much to like continue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, but I like had wild APs. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
move for a week after. Like couldn't like cook my food and stuff again. But I was like, I don't care, man. I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as like we tell people, as long as they can handle it, go for it. I wouldn't suggest people go to like rave festivals after being bedridden for a while, but you did it, and it had other benefits in it. Like it gave you, I think it reignited your spirit and your hope
Yeah,
and
but
the fight. You were back in the fight after that. So even though you had a flare up afterwards, you were like, yeah, it was worth it
yeah,
because now it gave me a taste of what life will be like. So
yeah.
after that, you have an adjustment period. It's pretty intense. What happens in the next following months here? Because I feel like in the last 6 months, you've made so much progress.
Yeah,
You have like made
insane.
10 times the amount of progress in the last 6 months than you did in the first 6 months.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us
But
about the
like,
last 6 months.
um, so like it was last Christmas. It was the first Christmas at home because like the Christmas before and New Year's I spent in the hospital. So I saw all my family and like everyone told me, yeah, you look better. And I was like very happy because I like actually felt better, but I still like felt crappy. Like, like I know it's nice from them to tell me, but like I still don't feel that good. And my recovery, like when you're in Germany, is like really cold, and I got like sick all the time, like a flu here and there, and like I couldn't breathe through my nose for like 7 months or so. So that always like hit me hard and gave me so many APs, like from December to like I guess May. But I don't know when my recovery really started off. Because January was rough because all of the flus and stuff didn't do that much. Like February started to get better, and I don't know, maybe I just handled all the flus and all the APs like good enough to like have a massive level up in February. And February I went to like some like birthday parties, and like it's carnival over here in February. And we couldn't celebrate carnival because it was COVID, and then I was sick. So it was my first carnival in
Hmm.
like 3 4 years, I don't know. So I went
Hmm.
there and did the first time, I guess, 16 17K steps.
Holy
And
cow.
yeah, it was crazy. Like, and I was dancing and screaming and walking through the city and listening to music. Yeah, so that was nice. And then like spring came around, and like everything gets better with the sun a little bit at least. Like this year, the year before, like I didn't care about the sun because I was inside all day. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
then I got better, and like I booked my first vacation in March.
Mm. Hmm.
So, but it was like just in Germany, not that far away, but like just wanted to go to the ocean really, really bad. So I went there, but it was like a pretty chill vacation. I went like with one of my best friends, and like she like knows about my illness. She's like one of like very, very few people who are still in my life.
Hmm.
But I guess this also really helped me to just like sit at the ocean and just like listen to the waves, and like it took it really easy there, but I had to take the train for like 10 hours to go there. And when we went back, like it was, I don't know what went wrong, but we went on a like little island in Germany, and when we wanted to go back, like they told us there's no train leaving the island today.
What the?
We're like, oh, but yeah, we don't have money to like reschedule and rebook, so we have to go. Like, we have another train book, like following. So it took us, I guess, around 15 hours to come back. And I
Holy
handled
cow.
it. I handled it. I slept in the train a little bit. That's hard to sleep in a train. And when we came back to Munich, there was like no bus or no metro driving. I don't know, like what was up there. Um, so I couldn't go to my flat, and I had to take a like share now car. I don't know if you have it.
Hmm.
They even had to drive a car I've never had driven before. So yeah, after like nearly 20 hours, I came back home.
That is insane. So you booked this vacation. This is in March, right? You
Hmm.
you book this vacation. You guys go on a train. You go to the beach, and I think you posted a win on that, right? Weren't you doing a short run on the beach in the
I
sunset?
did you run.
Kind of like my video. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that.
like I had
You're
two things in my mind when it was like really severe, like going to a like a rave and just being in the crowd and listening to music, and the second
just
one was
partying.
running at the beach and like just yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
then I
saw that one.
realized, like in my head I was like completely recovered when I ran at the beach, but I wasn't. But like I didn't care because like I'm there, I can run at the beach, and like I'm fine where I am right now, and like I would never had thought this like a year
Yeah,
before.
I remember you were so happy when you shared that video, and people were so happy for you because we've all seen where you come from. We remember when you couldn't even attend some of the calls because you were in the hospital, and just a year prior, so not March 2023 but March 2022,
Yeah,
you were in a really rough spot, right? You were in hospitals and clinics, in bed all day, and then
yeah, like
just a year
my
later you're running on a beach, taking a
yeah, like
train 15
my mom
hours.
even had like to wash my hair like for a long time because I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like
That's
somebody
crazy.
to feed me. So
So just a 1 year difference. 2022 Christina is, yeah, in the hospital, not functional. 2023 Christina is taking a train to go run on a beach and then
it
figuring
was
out how to get back home and then driving for 20 hours when
yes,
she's never driven before. That's pretty wild. So yeah, you come such a long way, and it just goes to show that, you know, it just goes to show how much can change in just 1 year, right? And it allows you to be so much more grateful for even the simple things now,
I
right? And sometimes we lose perspective. We forget how bad things were, but then we just think, oh, wait a minute, I used to
yeah,
be way worse, so I
yeah,
can handle this because I've
yeah.
handled way
I
worse.
mean, I still have like rough APs and I feel like shit. And but when I look back, like it's crazy because you forget how severe you were. Like somehow you
Hmm.
know it, but sometimes you forget how it feels like.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I just try to remind myself in every AP, like you've been so much worse and you can handle this now.
Oh yeah, yeah, because you'll have APs now, but you're still able. I mean, you work now, right? You teach kindergarten. You see your friends a lot, and your APs now is something that you wish you were able to do a year ago. You're like, if
Yeah.
only I could stand up, if only I could walk outside
Yeah.
for 2 minutes on my own feet, if only this and that. And then it's really interesting, even myself. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm really tired today. And I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. No, I know what real tired feels like. So I
Yeah.
can't even complain now. So it's like I have to remind
Yeah.
myself it. But
Like I just
yeah.
remembered how happy I was when I cooked my first meal after a year, and it was like, "Mom, look at this! I can stand for like five
Hmm.
minutes. I did eggs. Like, look at this!" And I was so happy, but I was so tired after, and like all the body symptoms. And now I'm like, yeah, I worked 4 hours today. I went to the city. I met my friends, and like I cooked dinner. Like, why am I tired now? So
Mhm. Right? Exactly. So it's so funny how that works. But for you, how impactful was it being on calls with other people in similar situations as you? And how helpful was it being part of a community of other people also recovering?
it was super helpful because like I was alone with this illness for so long, and like no one like from my family or my friends like understood what I'm going through. So it was so good for me to talk to people that understand, and I don't have to explain so much. They just understand, and it was just like a very good feeling to just have someone there. And like even better, there are people that recovered. So it was
Hmm.
like the best thing for me to do, actually.
Yeah, because like no matter where you're at on your journey, you always have the calls to come back to, and like hearing
Yeah,
people's wins as well. I think that's massive. You're hearing other people getting better, and it shows you like, oh, that's going to be me in a few weeks. So it just
yeah.
keeps
Like
giving you
at
more
first it
hope.
was, I hope it's gonna be me in a year.
Yeah, yeah. At, at first it was, I hope it's me, but now you know, like, wow, that is me, or that definitely will be
Yeah.
me. So
And
you
it's
know,
also so good to have like also now where I'm like a lot better, like that I know I can come back to the calls if I have some questions, or if I'm stuck in an AP or something happened, like I can still come back because I did
hmm
a lot of calls in the last couple of
hmm
months.
exactly. So if you had to choose your top three favorite things or most helpful things about the program, just in case other people are wondering, what would you say those are? Your top two or three favorite things? Is it the guidance from the coaches, being able to message us? What would you say it is for you?
I don't know like how I should rank it, but like one thing that you guys helped me so much to find my physical level, because I was so lost and I always like I could do nothing, but I wanted to do everything. That was my
Hmm.
problem. And like it was so helpful for me that you guys told me you can do this for 1 month and then we talk about it and maybe you can do more then. And like
Hmm.
I do when I do what you tell me, like I will not crash. Like it makes me
Hmm.
better. So like that really helped me a lot because I wanted to do like physical stuff more than everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the second, I guess, is the community, to just
Hmm.
not be alone in this mess and
Hmm.
having people to talk. And like, I found some friends on there, like, and still, like, now we're all a lot better. And like, we talk like via Snapchat and stuff, and like, just show us the day and how it's going.
Hmm. So you make some real friends and they're real connections, and
Yeah.
they like it's hard to find people who understand
Yeah.
this journey
Yeah.
that you've
Like,
been
also
there.
because a lot, like, the majority of my friends, it was
Hmm.
like very good to like find new friends and friends
Hmm.
that understand, like even when
Hmm.
they're not living here. But yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the third thing, I don't know, like I guess like the first. 2 like covers it.
The what?
I guess like my 2 points cover my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff.
That's really the main ones, and I do remember
Also,
when.
that I can like text you all the time because there are programs where you can't like reach the person that leads it or something. Like that I
Hmm.
can always text you and I get an answer, like that you're always there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that's my third one.
yeah. It's like a safety net, right? When you feel lost and you don't know what to do, you
Yeah.
just say, "Hey, is it okay to do this, or should I not do this?" I remember a lot of times we would tell you, "Christina, don't do it. We know you want to get out there. Do not do it." So a
Yeah.
lot of times you would like have to hold yourself back. Sometimes you did it, but we were that compass for you to help keep you moving in the right direction. And I remember that one time when you were so your symptom flares were so bad. I think this is back when you got COVID or you just got out of the hospital. You were scared to even leave your room. I
Yeah.
remember. And then Junior and I got on a call with you, and we were like, "Hey, just sit on the couch outside." And we had you listen to music. I think listen to
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
favorite songs because,
Yeah.
yeah, you felt like hopeless at the time. We needed
Yeah.
to give you some clear, actionable steps. And then next thing you know, you're sitting outside on the couch, you're eating dinner with your family, sitting
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and
I
then we
didn't
built
eat.
off of there.
I ate in my bed like for more than half a year, like every time I was at my parents' house.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
Hmm.
just ate in my bed, like half lying down.
Yeah, so it's crazy. We've come such a long way, Christina. It's crazy how much can change. So, what would you say to someone watching this video right now and they're seeing your story and they're like, "Wow, Christina really, she really turned her life around," but they're afraid, they're kind of scared, and they're kind of hopeless. They're where you were at your
Yeah.
darkest time. What would you want to tell them, knowing what you know now, and to inspire them?
Um, Believe in yourself, like because I believed in a program and I believed that like at the beginning that other people can do it, but that I can do it because like I'm too severe and I'm not smart enough and I'm not strong enough. Um, Believe in yourself. Like everyone can make it. Like literally, if I can make it, you can make it. Like everyone can make it. Like just believe in yourself and don't lose hope. Like I guess it was also the like rougher thing to never lose hope, but if you like believe in your goals and like yeah believe in yourself, then it will turn out fine, I guess.
Totally. And if you could do it, if I can do it, because we were pretty severe cases. Like me and you have actually been in the hospital many, many times. We stayed in the hospital for months, you
Yeah.
and I, and we practically lived there. And you had it even worse, I would say, because even the doctors were against you and
Yeah.
not feeding you sometimes and saying, "Oh, you're too tired to walk there. Well, you're not going to eat dinner tonight." That's
it,
crazy. But
it felt
here you
like
are.
against the world, and it was like, and at that time I didn't have the energy to fight and discuss like all the time, like it
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the energy, and it was like, how should this be my life, like how should I recover, like what will my life be like? I can't take
Mm-hmm.
this. And yeah,
Yeah.
don't believe the doctors, believe in yourself, like you're the only one like that can help you, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. And if the doctors don't believe in you, why would you even believe anything they say?
Yeah,
You know, you have to
like I
believe
even
in
had
yourself.
some doctors in the end, like where I got like my like real diagnosis that matched. They were like, yeah, you got CFS and you got fibromyalgia, but like it's gonna stay your whole life, and like don't think
Mhm.
it's gonna get any better. Like I was relieved that I get my diagnosis because it is what I feel like, but they were like, no, it's the end now. But I
Really, they didn't offer a solution, right?
not at
So
all. Like not at all. They were like, I was like, someday I'm going back to you, and they were like, no, you're not. Like, set your goals.
really, holy cow. Well, you know what? I'm so glad you found my YouTube channel, or I'm so glad you searched up Raylan stuff or searched for solutions, found Raylan, then you found me, then you found the program, and then
Yeah,
now you're reintegrating back into life again. You're able
yeah,
to get your life back. And this is really just the start too, right? This is really the start, just the start. I could see you, in terms of, let's say, your full recovery and getting your life back. I'd say we're about this is bottom, this is like where we want to go, you're probably like here right now. So it only gets better and better from here. You already have so much momentum, and
Yeah.
life goes up from here. We have similar timelines because I learned this stuff when I was about 23, 24.
Mm.
And that's when I started rebuilding my life. Now I'm 28. So a lot is going to happen over the next few years. You're going to reinvent yourself. This is
Yeah.
Christina 2.0
Yeah.
that we're
Like my
building.
life already is so much different than before.
Hmm. Absolutely. And now you know not to push yourself so hard with energy
Yeah,
drinks and not
exactly.
sleeping,
Yeah.
right?
Like I listen way more to my body. Like even
Yeah.
though sometimes I don't want to, I know I need to.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
like I cut a lot of toxic relationships and like some habits, and yeah, just listen way more to my body and relax more.
Hmm. Of course, of course. And so my last question I always ask people, would so far, would you say it's been a good investment joining the program?
Yeah, for sure. For
Kind of
sure.
worth it?
Like I paid so much for all the doctors and like stuff that didn't help. Like I could go on and on. Like I also tried Chinese medicine and stuff like that, and it was like so expensive.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it like nothing really helped. So it
Hmm.
was like a really good investment because like you you invest in a program, but like you invest in yourself, and like I mean you guys help me get better, but like in the end it's like I'm doing the work. So you
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's an
And it,
investment in yourself.
yeah, and it carries on into other areas of life, not just
Yeah.
recovery. It's like how to deal with stress, how to get back into the world again, really how to go from survivor to thriver. And so
Yeah, no, it
we're,
was the best thing I like did because like from there on it like just got better.
yeah, other than the hiccup in the beginning with the COVID thing.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. And then it's funny because I remember Junior and I, when it was only him and I doing the coaching,
Hmm.
we were like, okay, good. She went to a rave. That was probably too much, but it's okay. Well, it was a good win for her. And then you get COVID, and we were like, oh no, she shouldn't have gone to the rave.
I
So you're
know.
probably like
Now I
beating yourself
know.
up.
But I learned. But
Yeah,
like I
you learn.
know like back like last October, November, you told me to pay so much. I was like, no, I want to do more, and if I feel like I can do more. But like looking back now, like I would have crashed so bad because like it didn't feel good. Like I
Yeah.
always pretend that I'm better than I'm actually are. So
Yeah, I remember every conversation we had with you was like, Christina, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, believe me, Christina, don't do it. And then you
but
go
I
and do it.
listen to you the most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time you listen,
Most of
for
the
the
time.
most part. And
Yeah,
then
Jimmy
now,
also
like,
told me not to work in a kindergarten, so
oh man, that's funny.
but
But
it works out now. But he told
yeah.
me like do 20 hours per week and was like, okay, like a deal. I do 15, but in the kindergarten.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So no, it's been a great journey, and I feel like we should definitely do a follow up kind of interview like this when you're even better, because
Yeah,
you're still well on your way. You're still going through some adjustment periods, but you made such massive progress. I wanted
yeah,
to do this to share with people, um, you know,
yeah,
what is
for sure.
possible. What is possible. So we're
Would
just
love
getting
to do a
started.
full recovery interview one day.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll do it as you're running on the beach. You'll have like
Yeah,
a self.
or in the gym or something.
Yeah, something,
Yeah,
something. But no, that's super cool. But really appreciate your time, Christina.
yeah,
Again, everybody watching this right now, this interview could have been like 4 hours long because
it
there's
has
so many
been
details in
longer.
your story that I feel like we could go into. But you've come such a long way. I just want to tell you, myself and the coaches, especially Junior, because he worked directly with you, super proud of you. And just let's keep on going. Let's
Thank
get
you.
you to thriving health. And for you guys watching this, just take this as a sign that no matter where you're at, no matter how bad it is, you could be hospitalized for months, you can get better. Christina did it. I did it. So many other people in the program did it. I don't think it's luck. It takes a lot of work and consistency, but there is an actual roadmap. There is a way to do it. And if you
Yeah,
follow it, it's not easy, but it is worth it.
yeah.
You get your life back. If she can do it, you guys can do it. So, Christina, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing some of your story. Guys, if you enjoyed this, comment down below. What was your favorite part about Christina's story of what you heard so far? There's plenty more. But what was your favorite part? Comment down below. What was your biggest takeaway? And if you were looking for some extra help in recovery, need some guidance, even just some hope, reach out. You can apply for the program and see if you're a good fit. And if you are, we would love to help you. So always remember, you are a thriver and you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. So we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks so much, Christina.